Greetings.
What is up, you guys? This is All Day Day 1 on the PS4, and I'm going to be giving you an updated build breakdown for Doctor Strange. So I know I just posted a build breakdown for him like a couple days ago, but I've been playing around with him even more and just got more familiarized with all of his abilities. And yeah, so let's look at his traits. Fighting and intelligence are his two main attributes. He also gains a 25% extra damage towards cooldown powers. His primary resource is his mana. It constantly regenerates no matter what. Secondary resource is his mystic energy. Cooldown powers generate mystic energy. When mystic energy reaches full, cooldown powers will instead spend 2 mystic energy to reduce the cooldown and mana cost to 0. So when you have full mystic energy, you no longer use any cooldowns. Ancient training, deflect, he automatically gains a 3% deflect chance. Deflect rating and dodge rating deflect and dodge are his two main defensive stats. Now for his abilities, the ones I'm using is Fangs of Farlaw on X, Seven Sons of Cinnabus on square, Flames of the Faltine on L2 square, Icy Tendrils on L2 on triangle, Demons of Dinak on circle, Seal of the Vashanti on L2 triangle, Mystic Shift, which is his dash, on L2 circle, and All Seeing Eye which is his signature on L2X. So on his talents, I'll go ahead and explain the powers after I explain the talents. Mystic Rejuvenation is what I went with. Upon reaching maximum mystic energy, cooldown powers cast within 3 seconds will critically hit. Health gained, you gain 25% of max health. Mana restore, 25% of max mana. I actually think that's the best one out of the 3. I mean, controlled power is also a really good one because all of your cooldown powers gain a cooldown reduction by 50%, so it's pretty much cut in half, or nearly in half. And then in half, and then cooldown powers also gain 50% more damage, and mana cost reduction is also reduced by 50% for cooldown powers. So this is a really good one if you're looking for more damage. This one's a really good one if you're looking for more survivability. So they're both really good. The third one's not too bad, but I'm not gonna worry about that. Guardian Seraphim is what I went with. I was using Benevolent Seraphim, but I took it off and replaced it with Guardian Seraphim, so that way I don't have to use Shield of Seraphim on my slots. Shield of Seraphim automatically activates when you fall below 50% health, and you gain Shield of Seraphim gives you 100% healing. So what that means is you no longer need to have Shield of Seraphim on your loadout. It'll just automatically pop once you're below 50% health. Flame and Frost, Flames of the Faltine, pulls enemies into its area of effect. Icy Tendrils of Ichthalon calls forth a Bruiser Golem for 12 seconds. Flames of the Faltine and Icy Tendrils of Ichthalon gains a 10% damage increase. Bruiser Golem stats is health is increased by 300% of your max health. Damage reduction is 70%. Bruiser Golem summon limit is 3 times. Oh whoa! And then they do Sub-Zero Smash damage, which is 16,840 to 25,259. Next one I went with was Sun and Shadow. I went with Sun and Shadow. So Seven Sons of Cinnabus always critically hits, and its critical and brutal damage effects are doubled. Demons of Dinak now transfers to another nearby enemy when the target is defeated. Seven Sons of Cinnabus and Demons of Dinak are increased by 10%. If you don't like that, then you can always go with Seal of Hoggoth. Both of these are really, really good traits or talents to have. So Seal of Hoggoth, Seal of Vashanti calls forth a Dominated Mindless One for 12 seconds. Dominated Mindless One stats have a 200% health increase. Damage reduction of 70%. Dominated Mindless One, you can have up to 3 of them. They do Mindless Punch and Cyclopean Blast or whatever. So the last talent would be Seal of Oster. Seal of the Vishanti no longer provides buff effects, but now explodes after a short duration. Seal of Vishanti cooldown is 2 seconds less. Seal of Vishanti max is +2 charges. So you're definitely going to want to use this because this will do a nice heavy burst damage on your enemies. Yeah, so I tested out these two and I feel like Seal of Oster is just way better. So I don't think I really need to explain anything now about the abilities. Oh, I guess I can explain the signature. So with the signature, it says damage is 15,827 to 23,740 per hit. Duration is 15 seconds. So the thing about this is, I'll say this: cooldown reduced by 2 seconds when you expend your Mystic Energy cooldown. The cooldown for this ability is 1 minute. So when you're at full Mystic Energy, and you use your abilities, whatever, to make your Mystic Energy go away, the cooldown for this is reduced by 2 seconds per Mystic Energy that's been used, and you can get your Mystic Energy pretty quick back too, before 15 seconds. So you can get your signature back really fast, to be honest. So the damage doesn't seem too bad. It's not that bad, but yeah, this is actually not of a bad signature. Not one of the best. I wouldn't say this is near the best signatures in the game, but it's not a bad one, especially since it lasts pretty long. If you don't want to use the signature, then I would say go with Vapors of the Vaulter, or Images of Icon, or Astral Projection, or even Shield of Seraphim if you want to use that. It doesn't really matter. You can use anything else if you don't want to use the signature. So for the synergies, I went with Angela, Beast, Dr.Strange, Gambit, Hawkeye, Luke Cage, Magic, Scarlet Witch, Squirrel Girl, and War Machine. So I went with Angela because of the cooldown power damage, since she's always using cooldowns. I went with Luke Cage for the extra durability, and I went with what's her face, Magic for, well, I guess you can switch Luke Cage out for Rocket Raccoon. I just went with Luke Cage for the extra durability and survivability, but Magic for the summon damage, and yeah. So my infinity points, I went with, let me see, I put my points into fighting, and then I put the rest into my mental focus. If you don't have 25 points, mental focus. The reason why I say mental focus for literally every single build breakdown is because crit damage is always going to benefit you in the most way. You can either go with mental focus, or you can go with potency, are the two main ones I would go with if I didn't have 25 points. But if you do have 25 points, I would highly suggest putting your points into fighting or intelligence. One or the other, doesn't really matter. So for my inventory, my gear, my legendary item, I went with Warlock's Eye. It's not leveled up at all because I just got it. I'm using Malekith's Medallion. I actually didn't realize how good Malekith's Medallion would be on Doctor Strange, because Flames of the Fall Team, well, that just applies that so much. It does nice damage over time, because I didn't think of him doing too much damage over time, but it's really useful for him. Either this or Ultron's Medallion or Cassilis Medallion are the three that I would go with. Maybe even what's his face, Sinister's Medallion too. My Catalyst, become invisible for 3 seconds when you use your medkit. Gain 418 health on hit on an enemy. Regenerate 25% health up to 3,100 mana. When you use your medkit, and +2 intelligence, that could always be better, up to 3+3. Gain, for the cosmic one, gain a damage shield equal to 50% of your max health when you use your medkit. Mystical bonus, 10% chance when you are hit to regenerate 500 health. Whoa. And then for my relic, I'm using Relic of Gibberim. That way I get more mana to use for him. And it's a complete relic, so I get that +1 to all attributes. For his artifacts, I'm using Tanya's Love Letter, mainly because of that +1 to all attributes. And he also you have a 16% chance when you are attacked to absorb 25-15 damage for 10 seconds, or it's a 10-second cooldown. And then the next one I'm using is Cargo's Rewrites, +3 to all attributes is the main reason why I use that. And then the last artifact I'm using is the Nuts of the Squirrel, because of the +3 fighting, the crit hit rating, and the summon rating. So, I mean, it may seem like this is not a good artifact, but honestly, it's actually not a bad artifact to use at all. Mainly because of the +3 fighting is really nice, and he also gets that crit hit and summon power damage. So, for the stats, I'm at 31,588 average effective health, 27% damage reduction. Offensive stats, 2198 crit hit, 5917 crit damage, 822 brutal strike, 2211 brutal damage, and 160% base damage. So my Doctor Strange definitely needs some work, but I mean, it's not too bad. I still haven't found a utility to replace this one with, because this one this one's just probably one of the best utilities I've ever seen, is because it gives you crit hit, brutal strike rating, and brutal damage. Not brutal strike rating, but crit hit and brutal crit damage. But when you brutally strike, you gain 800 damage rating to summon powers for 10 seconds. So that's really awesome. If I had the cosmic version, I would love to have the same one with brutal damage on it as well. Now for his abilities, let's go ahead and check out his abilities and the way they look. So on X, this is what it'll be. And then my square, Sons of Cinnabis, whatever, does that. And then my triangle, the icy tendrils, you'll see it summons the icy golems. And then Danak's Beast of Danak or something. You can see it, the little beast minion attacking, and as soon as if that enemy had died, it would transfer to another enemy. Flames of the Faultine does nice damage over time, and flame damage, and AoE. And then you have the whatever it's called, on L2 triangle. It takes like maybe 2 seconds for it to apply, but it does nice burst damage. And then you have your signature, I Have All Seen. It does nice AoE, or okay AoE, I guess, but it also lasts for a good while. And as you can see, I'm gonna apply, see if I can, and then the signature goes down pretty quick for my my signature cooldown goes down. Sorry, I lost focus right there real quick. So I'm already at halfway, less than half for my signature. But yeah, if this helped you at all, go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you have any other suggestions, if you have any good artifacts that you would suggest for Doctor Strange, let me know, please, because I would love to play with him more and get him min-maxed, because he's a fun character, especially this build being pretty strong actually. I just need higher stats, and he can probably most definitely put out a ton of damage. But yeah, so I'm just gonna say, yeah, basically Doctor Strange is a pretty good character. Both builds work, the one I had before, but I find this one to be a lot better. I will later post a support build for Doctor Strange for those of you that want to play a support type role for Doctor Strange, because in my opinion he is the best support character in the game. If you were to play support role, someone who can put out buffs for your team, which I find would be really important on when raids and stuff come out. So yeah, this is all Day 1 on the PS4. Have a good day, good night, and peace.